plaintiff, Stephen Waddles, says the defendant is his daughter and an aspiring model, and he's proud of her. But when it comes to responsibility, she just can't get it right. Stephen is suing his daughter today for the value of an SUV. Defendant Aaliyah Waddles says although Stephen was a good provider, he was never there for her emotionally, and she has proof that he has verbally abused her. She's countersuing for emotional distress.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you, sir.
I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. I was born back in the early 70s, right around the time of the Detroit riot. So my mom figured that'd be a good time for us to relocate.
I remember that riot. Used to see the tanks going up and down our street. Wow. Tanks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And unfortunately, my brothers were out looting. They came home with something. I remember my mother said, "Take that back out here." I think it was a TV. I think I was like 6 or 7. And they came home with a TV. And my mother put you got to get it out of here. All right, sir. So where did you all move to?
We moved to Texas.
What part?
Denison, Texas. Denison.
And tell me about your life beyond that, and however you want to give me the background on your daughter and yourself.
So Leah's one of 4 children. I have 3 daughters and 1 son. I love them all to death. Growing up, I've always had joint custody with their mother. She had them 50% of the time, and I kept them 50%.
Really?
50%?
All right.
Yes, sir, and it worked. It worked.
Good.
You know, Aaliyah, she's a beautiful young lady. She's an aspiring model, and I'm proud of her. But when it comes to responsibilities, you just can't get right.
How old is she?
Well, she's 25 now.
You don't even know my age. I'm 26, Your Honor.
Be quiet.
Okay.
I don't know my kid's age either off the top of my head.
Thank you, Judge Mathis.
Yeah. I might know the year they were born, but I can't count. We can't count. All right, so give them a break. So she's one of 4. She's a model. And what else did you say? Responsibility. That's what I was getting to.
That
25.
Responsibility. Yes, sir.
I got news for you. I haven't met a 25, 26-year-old that is responsible for being as a responsible adult, pays all their bills, doesn't have any lapse of judgment that puts them in a bad situation. That's part of growing up, so don't hold that too far against her. But tell me, did she work as a young adult during her irresponsible years?
Yes, she did. She finally figured it out, you know what I'm saying, that, as far as working and getting her life together, got her own place and everything. She's always kept her own place.
Good. That's not irresponsible.
I didn't say she was completely irresponsible. I'm saying when it comes to, all responsibilities, she hadn't been the sharpest, but hey,
You all got along all of her life?
Yeah, we did, but like I said.
And she hasn't been troubled? Finished high school?
No, I mean, no more than the normal. I mean, right. She didn't, in high school, she didn't take no crap. She was a little scrapper, but she finally grew out of that, you know what I'm saying, and molded into a...
Well, Detroit is in her blood. You can't hold that against her. Detroit is in her blood. So
it's in her blood.
She ain't taking a whole lot. She wasn't taking a whole lot. All right. Young lady, you tell me about yourself.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm definitely a very responsible young woman. I always have been. So that I would have to disagree with.
How old were you when you got your own apartment?
I was 19.
Yeah, you're very responsible.
Thank you. Yeah, so I mean, I've always worked. I've always pretty much taken care of myself. Don't get me wrong. If I needed help, my dad was there. But primarily, I'm the one that feeds Aaliyah. Growing up, like my dad said, my mom, we had joint custody. So we were back and forth between my mom and my dad. My dad worked a lot. And I will say that he was a provider financially. But as far as being there emotionally, we've never had that connection. He was never really around. Growing up, I witnessed a lot of abuse from my dad, physically, mentally, and verbally, almost every day. So that caused a lot of resentment with me and my dad. Every time I tried to have a relationship with him as I've gotten older, it always seems to backfire because I just feel like his true colors always seems to come out, hence why we're here today.
What are those true colors to you, in your opinion?
Kind of just like giving me something or offering me something and then throwing it in my face, or, you know, disrespecting me, always calling me out of my name.
No, I don't believe that.
Okay, well, I have proof.
I hope you haven't called your daughter out of her name, sir. My goodness.
Your Honor, I took care of I raised my daughter. She never done without. I mean, anything she needed, she always had. Now, I was raised up back in the day. You just don't disrespect your parents. You don't do that. But this new generation don't get it. So if I'm wrong for being old school, okay, yeah, I might have said something I didn't mean, but what did she, you know what I'm saying? What made me say that? I'm old school. I never disrespected my parents.
She gives me the impression that you would call her out of her name regularly. No.
Is
that true, young lady? Regularly?
More than one time, Your Honor. Yes, it's very true.
No. The question was regularly,
right? And
I never have.
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that, young lady. I just don't believe it.
Well, I wouldn't lie, and I have the proof if you would like to.
Well, you may have proof of one time.
Exactly.
Okay, I may have proof of text messages.
Exactly.
But I'm saying
exactly. And what she said before that. Hey,
so
Your Honor.
I don't have proof of him saying anything verbally to me, Your Honor, of course, but I do have it in text messages.
Right. No telling what you said to him. What did she say to you?
She said, why don't you just die so we can all be happy? So, yeah, I said some things I didn't mean, but that's what she said to me. Why don't you just die so we can all be happy?
Yeah, that's rough.
She's going to read you. So, and that was my response. Whatever it was, I didn't mean it, but that's what it was.
She has a different view of your relationship. You said everything was fine. She said that you had an abusive household.
No, I never said we had the perfect household. That's why they was raised 50-50. Now, I wasn't perfect. I mean, I wasn't perfect, but you know, I had a detail shop, and that's how I raised them. And you know, we was in a small town, a small, to be honest, prejudiced town that that we made it in, and they didn't want for anything. Yeah, maybe I was a little rough sometimes, but hey, they didn't understand what I was going through to provide for them. I worked a lot of hours. I worked from 5 in the morning till 10 at night. To
afford the good life that you gave them.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
I'm just saying, yeah, you hear that sometimes from children whose parent had to work 16, 18 hours. Yeah, I understand that. You hear that sometimes.
I didn't mean it like that, Your Honor. I just meant emotionally, just having that father-daughter connection. That's what it was missing. Okay. So I am grateful for having a roof over my head. I respect that, and I appreciate that. But you also, as a young woman, need that emotional connection, and it wasn't there. That's what I was saying. And
let me make this observation as well. In my life, I just didn't know what to do with girls. My mother had 4 boys. I didn't have a father in my household, so I wasn't able to see a father interact with my mother. I just didn't know what to do. And I feel bad about that, but I just didn't. And, you know, there's no book, perhaps there is a book, but you don't think to go to a book on men raising daughters or men bonding, fathers bonding with daughters, particularly if they never had much experience with women in their household. If he came from Detroit, he saw women being abused, unfortunately, many women, because poverty breeds that type of activity. But that's all. I'm just trying to put that in context for you and for other young ladies who might even be able to say, he's real close to the sons. You know, and I was interacted with my sons more than my daughters. But There it is. That's one of my flaws that I'll admit to, and I put it in that context. Don't know if I was right or wrong. Me and my daughter's as close as you can be now. I was more of a counselor, supporter, and when I got home, come here, baby, that type, your daddy's girl. But other than that, I didn't know what to talk about. I didn't know what we're gonna do. Well, I do play with dolls with Nora now. She's not help. I sit there and play with dolls with my granddaughter, so I know how to do it now. So I understand that, sir, if that was the case. So I'm not gonna hold that against you. I know you're suing her about an SUV. So why don't we get right to that? What happened with this truck?
Sure. Like I said, I reside in Texas. She was residing in Minnesota at the time. So I reached out to her. I said, hey, you know what? You're up there in Minnesota, and it's cold, and they got some real winters in Minnesota. I said, look, I'll let you borrow my 02 GMC Yukon for the winter. And you know, until you get on your feet, you can borrow it. I let her borrow my truck. I put her on my insurance. Everything's good. So she's got the truck. She got the truck probably about a month, maybe 2 months. So I get a call one day. It's like, I was just wondering if you're gonna pay for the accident. I'm like, accident? What accident you talking about? He's like, well, your daughter Leah ran into the back of our car, and we want to know if your insurance is gonna pay. And I'm like, I haven't heard anything about this accident. So I called her, but she didn't answer. I can't get a hold of her. So my insurance called back like, Mr. Waters, are we gonna settle this or not? I mean, but I told my insurance, look, if it was my truck and it was in a wreck, pay those people. But she never called me and said, hey, Dad, I had an accident. That's why they called accidents. It's nobody's fault, but guess what? I wanna make sure that you okay. I wanna make sure that everything is settled with the insurance, everything's okay. It's an accident.
It's a matter of respect, too.
Yes, sir. And respect, because everything's in my name. But let me know so I can fight.
So you all never agreed to a payment?
No, sir.
Okay, let me hear from her. Young lady, what happened?
Yes, Your Honor. I also want to note that the truck, my dad has had that since I was little. My older sister even has the truck. And, you know, she told me before he gave it to me, you know, be careful. Because he did her wrong with the truck. She actually bought it from him, and then there was underlying issues, and she actually made him buy it back. Anyways, it was October 2019, and you know it was about to be winter. I agreed to have the truck. Soon as I got it, it was rolling fine, and then all of a sudden, you know, it started just shutting off. And initially, I thought it was the engine. Someone told me it could be the engine. I even went as far as to buy a new engine, and it wasn't the engine at all. As far as the accident, Your Honor, I was about to trying to parallel park. The truck is big, obviously. It was my first time having the truck, and he knew that. I messed up the front of the car, and I did leave. It was outside of my apartment. The people were not even there. I left a note and told them to call me so we could get this fixed. So as far as the insurance, Your Honor, I did tell my dad about the accident. I didn't tell him right away because I don't know if you can tell he has a horrible temper, and I was scared that he was going to go off on me. But I did tell him 2 days later, and initially it was it was a text at first. I'm not going to lie, it was a text. And then that was followed by a call where he was going off, and then he just started threatening me, you know, in the text messages. He threatened to report the truck stolen. He was also attacking me, my physical appearance, saying that I look like a crackhead. I've always been skinny. So, you know, he was just going in. And then, you know, the car that I hit, they were contacting me a couple weeks after, and they were like, hey, we're just trying to get the car fixed before winter. We need Steven, you know, to call his insurance company so that they can pay for it. I kept texting him. I said, hey, can you please give them your information so they can get their car fixed? And he was not responding. And I feel like the reason that he wasn't doing that was because my name wasn't on the insurance, and he would have to explain that to the insurance company.
Yeah, no, let me explain something to you. He didn't have to file an insurance claim at all. All he had to do is ask you for the money for the damage that you caused. You don't have to file an insurance claim when someone hits you so that you can run your insurance up. You don't have to do that. People hit you, you say, you pay me. I'll file insurance if I want to, or I don't have to. That's how that goes. Insurance has zero to do with what you owe and what you did. So let's move beyond that insurance, what he didn't or didn't do regarding the insurance. Why don't you think you owe for something you did?
I didn't say I didn't know, Your Honor. I'm just saying under the truck, it was under the insurance was under his name. Yeah. My name was not on. And
insurance is irrelevant. So you're saying he should have used his insurance, which is his option. I'm not saying
that at all.
Well, how does insurance come in then?
That's what they needed to pay for the damage that I did. And I understand.
Right, they needed his insurance. They needed his insurance. So once again, you're asking him to use his insurance. You can close your eyes and get disrespectful like you probably do with him. Bye. Turn it off. Your claim is dismissed and yours is granted. Boop. Hit the button. Boop. There you go. Bye.
I just want to say, Aaliyah, you're my baby girl, and I love you. And I wasn't trying to ruffle your feathers, but I need my money, man.